Hello, Nick Reinhart here, and today I'm messing about with the Meris LVX modular delay system. Okay, they call it a modular delay system, but that suggests that the primary function of this pedal is as a delay pedal, and that's just not the way I see things. To me, this is a deep multi-effect with lots of good sounds. I feel like in the pedal world, the pedal heads are starting to come around to that forbidden term, multi-effect. When we think of multi-effect pedals, we think of like junk from the 90s with just lots of bad signal processing and crappy sounds. And things have come a long way since those days. Yeah, this thing is a repeating, filtering, pitch shifting, harmonizing, bit crushing, LFO tweaking, modulating loop machine. I know, right? So when you have that many cool ideas crammed into one box, it's a little bit overwhelming. And the way that I tend to view this situation is in sort of a choose your own adventure way. Allow me to explain. So instead of painstakingly reading every single page of the manual until I have a thorough understanding of how the pedal works, I like to just turn it on, point myself in a direction, and start sonically exploring. And that means menu diving and twisting and turning knobs and getting lost and frustrated and having to go back to menus and figure out where I messed up. But in the end, it can be a really rewarding experience because you end up somewhere, really inspiring and exciting. Or you end up with just garbage and you unplug it and start from the beginning. So uh, that's what we're going to do. We're going to fire this thing up. We're going to point ourselves in one direction and start exploring and choose our own adventure. Okay, the LVX is fired up, and that takes us straight to this screen, which is the presets that the pedal comes with. But we're not doing presets today. We want to choose our own adventure. So I'm going to take this knob here, and I'm just going to get us into the blank zone. And I'm going to take us to 97, which is going to be our first open slot over here on the left. And that should give us some sound. Okay, that's a delay sound. By the way, I guess just because there might be one person wondering, I'm playing a Jazzmaster that's going through a Fender Mustang GT modeling a twin. So yeah, when we start with a blank canvas here, it's a digital delay. Actually, they just kind of start you off there. Maybe that's the path they're selecting for you. But what I like to do is zero all this out. So I take my time knob, 0, feedback 0, mods already at 0, but just by habit, I like to do that. So that should leave us with just this. Nada. Cool. Let's hit this little selector guy and then just start looking around. There's delay. There's dynamics. I didn't even mention dynamics earlier. There's probably all sorts of goody compressors. Oh yeah, in there. Cool. That's an adventure for another day. Preamp stuff. That's probably where the bit crusher and some other cool distortion weird sounds are. You got your filtering, your pitch, your modulation, your mix stuff, looper, modifiers, expression pedal, blah, 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 blah. Lots and lots of cool stuff. Today, we're going with a pitch adventure. So let's turn that on. Cool. Let's move around. What do we got? Polychromatic, harmony, micro-tune, monochromatic, lo-fi. Cool. Let's go with harmony. So I'm going to use the select knob. Let's see, location. We'll keep that pre. Pitch. Well, okay, that's pitch L. Pitch R. Well, do we hear something yet? Yep, that's like an A minor harmony deal, right? So it's probably in C major. Let's go to the key. C major, yes. Okay. I'm going to move this to classic E. I'm gonna roll with classic E major styles, right? So right now, so it's like, what is that? Like a fifth and a third kind of deal. Let's see. Pitch L is a third, yes. And there's a fifth. So it's just creating this lovely, lovely chord. So I'm going to take the third down to 0. So that should just be the root note. So now we're only hearing the fifth. I'm going to tweak that fifth to a third. So, all right, I know there's already someone being like, but why did you put the pitch L to 0 when that's already coming through with the, you know, the dry guitar? Well, what I want to do here is just dime the mix. So we're not hearing any dry guitar now. We're only hearing processed pitch shifted guitar. But I have an idea for that in a second. So bear with me on that. I'm thinking here, I'm thinking a couple steps ahead. So really nice pitch shifting sound, very accurate. Okay, I like it. Okay, so part 2, grab yourself an expression pedal. Let me tell you, the LVX and expression pedals play very nicely together. I don't know if this happens to you, but a lot of times when I pull out an expression pedal to pair up with whatever I'm using at the time, it does not just plug in and, you know, automatically happen. I need to look up the manual of the thing and figure out like, oh, I need to unplug it and then hold down this button and plug it in and blah, blah, blah. And it's just very not fun. This, I mean, you really just plug it in and it automatically knows what it's doing somehow. So let's see. All right, so we're back here in our E major harmonizer thing, right? Okay. So let's move on over to expression pedal. Boom. Expression pedal A assign. You look down here in the bottom corner. It's just that. Look at this. And then you're just automatically, it's all there. Anything that you've got doing, you know, in your menu diving, it's all there for you to mess with right now. So we've got pitch and delay and mix and da-da-da. So as I had mentioned, I was thinking a couple steps ahead earlier. And I'm like, okay, I'm going to assign my expression pedal to that pitch L, which was set to the root note 0, right? So I'm going to bring this up the minimum to 25%. There you are. I'm going to do the maximum at 100%. Cool. Okay, so now we should have something going right now. Let's see. Oh, that's cool. See what I'm saying? So, like the expression pedal, it was just that. You plug it in and there you go. Boom. That's part 2. Okay, part 3 in the LVX choosing our own adventure. So let's recap real quick. I've got my harmonizer going in E major. We've dimed the mix, so there's no dry guitar coming through. So we're actually only hearing 2 notes that are getting harmonized. And I'm controlling one of those notes from this expression pedal, which you can hear like this. there's our recap. So now we're going to move on to the looping section of the LVX, which is very cool. So grab your little dial here, move it on over to loop, looper, and then hold this button down like that. And you see this little logo here lets us know that we're in loop mode. And I think it should work like this. Here you go. We need to figure out how to loop something and mess with the loop in the actual signal path, because I want to be able to loop it and then hands-free tweak on the expression pedal. So let's just give this here. We'll give it a little test. Okay, so the looper location is post effect right now, and we want that to be before the effect. So we just tweak with the location. Pre, that sounds right. There you go. This is when I said I was thinking a couple of steps ahead. This is where I was going with this. So now let me send something into the looper. Let's just see what happens. This is a full improvised moment right here. Let's see where it goes. Okay, so we got something in there. Where are we at here? Loop effects 2. This guy is half speed and reverse. So right now this is just set to resemble a DL4, and this will re-trigger. It has the option to play once like the DL4, but it can just re-trigger to where the loop will keep going even once it's reached the end. So this should go something like... Yes. Okay, part 4 of the Choose Your Own Adventure with the Meris LVX modular delay system. To recap, we did some harmonizing in E major. We removed all of the dry signal, and then we set this expression pedal to control one of the notes that we're hearing. So something like this. And then we got into our looper. We set our looper to be before the effect. That way we can loop something into it and then tweak, you know, after we've already committed the riff to the looper. We're sending that through the harmonizer and controlling it with the expression pedal. So lastly, I think we should just go a little deeper on the loop stuff, because there's some really neat things that this loop setup can do that I'm fully unfamiliar with. So right now it's set to be similar to a DL4. Let's put another riff into it, see what we end up with. Very DL4-ish. Okay, check this out. Loop effects 1, it's on retrigger. Look at this thing, expression pedal warp. So this is like this scrubbing feature that Meris added, which I have not figured out a practical use for this other than it's really, really cool and weird. So I'll just show you what happens. So here's our loop. So why would anyone want that? I mean, I really want that, and you should really want that too, because it's, I don't know, it's like a, what is that, like a turntablist kind of like situation? It's very, very cool and very different. So, oh, and then, you know, the other thing, so we don't have any of the delay stuff happening. So what if we brought in the delay like all of a sudden at the end here? Well, like, what's that going to do? Well, that concludes today's adventure with the Meris LVX modular delay system. I'm quite pleased with where I ended up in that adventure. We did some pitch shifting, we did some expressing, we did some looping, and then we did some deeper looping. And I think that was a good adventure. There's obviously lots and lots of different paths you can take. Like, check back with me in a few years and I'll catch you up on all the adventures I've gone on with this pedal. So yeah, have fun, go on adventures. Grab a Meris LVX at Reverb now.